Alright. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, the amazing gamer DJMC, here with the long away review of Spectacular Spider Man Season 2. I just watched the last two episodes. One sec. Alright. Gonna need to remote to scroll down. Alright. Season 2, Episode 1, Blue Planet. This is the first episode of Mysterio's debut in the Spectacular Spider Man universe. Also, this is the only Spider-Man show for the time being until Disney XD's Ultimate Spider-Man, where they show winter in New York. Because actually, throughout the 90s and actually no way in both 90s, we never seen New York in winter. It was mostly just either daytime, night, or fucking rain. That's about it. And of course, I can't really say much about Spider-Man Unlimited because it mostly just did day and night. But yeah, so actually, the episode starts off with Peter still trying to contemplate or thinking what happened between him and Gwen at the end of season 1. Because if you guys remembered, all 4 episodes of season 1 was basically the symbiote saga and the rise of Venom. And at the end of the last episode, Gwen kisses Peter on Thanksgiving, and Peter is now contemplating on if he should go out with Gwen, or at least talk about it with her. And we get to see a bit more of Liz trying to be with Peter a little bit throughout the show, which eventually she does date him for a bit. But at the end of it, Spider-Man defeats Mysterio, but the stuff he's been stealing was not recovered. Also, Stan Lee makes an appearance in this episode. This episode is heavily based around Kraven the Hunter. And fun fact though, they did a unique take on Kraven on here. While he does look like his classic self, they decided to also make him look like the Puma of this world. So like he really looks like a humanoid lion. Also, another thing, they do plan in this show, they brought in Miles Warren. If you guys know who that is, aka the Jackal, aka the guy who created the Spider-Man clones of Ben Reilly and Kane Parker, basically known as the Scarlet Spider Brothers. Also, the creepy scientist who has a thing for Gwen Stacy, which I wonder if they were ever going to adapt this if this show continues. Which, honestly, Disney, after you're done with Spider-Man Brand New, or not Spider-Man Brand New Day, Friendly Neighborhood, how about you revive this fucking show? Like, give it its last 3 planned seasons. Like, give Sony the fucking green light. Also, Sony, can you stop fucking with the marketing with your Spider-Man projects? Like, stop taking fucking forever. All of us are kind of sick and tired of this shit. Let's see. We get the Master Planner arc in 2 episodes here, actually. This one we technically see a new version of the Sinister Six. Like, you got Electro, Rhino, Sandman, Vulture, and Doc Ock. But then, well, of course, Doc Ock plans that secret to pretend to be Master Planner. So, to replace him temporarily, we have Kraven and Mysterio. And this is where the Master Planner arc is done in the next episode. And actually, the funny thing is, this episode also does the reference of one of Spider-Man's iconic scenes of "If This Be My Destiny" in a way. Like, Peter is pinned down with a super heavy metal object on top of him. And of course, Gwen is held prisoner, so he thinks he's done for, but seeing her, he gets the strength to lift the damn thing up, which is so fucking iconic, and that the show there reference to that is fucking beautiful. Also, I'm going to point this out, is during season 2 where you see Peter's classic suit gets a bit more battle damage than we did in season 1. The return of the Venom symbiote, along with the, I guess, return of the Venom arc, is in 3 episodes. First Steps, Growing Pains, and then Identity Crisis. So in this one, it's heavily based on if Sandman should even bother keep being a criminal. Like, Spider-Man's trying to persuade him to be a good guy, which is not too far off from the comics actually, because Flint has been technically an ally to Spider-Man a couple of times in the past. And of course, Peter is getting paranoid now because Eddie keeps popping into random places where Peter just happened to be to convince Peter to like where the symbiote is hiding. In which it does work because Eddie makes a homemade black suit with his own web shooters apparently. And then we don't see Flint's official return until this episode because he now uses the black suit to manipulate to make himself look like Spider-Man, well, at least the fair design of the symbiote suit. And I find this funny because he does it to frame Spider-Man for crimes he's not doing, but also I find it stupid how Jameson and everybody else thinking is Spider-Man, like, guys, look at the body build. Since when the fuck does Peter look like he's Jack on steroids? Also, we have Jameson's son in this episode when he becomes a temporary superhero known as Captain Jupiter, I believe. Oh, I should also mention this. It's also during this, Peter is now back with his internship at ESU with Dr. Connors and his wife, thanks to Norman Osborn. But actually, Glowing Pen is basically a terrible thing for Peter at the end because Venom's strings to the Daily Bugle publicly announced that Peter Parker is Spider-Man in front of the Bugle. So right now, that's why this episode is called Identity Crisis. And believe it or not, Flash Thompson is the fucking MVP of this episode because he keeps denying that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Which, I will give him credit. I can find that very easy to believe because one, how Peter acts around people and gives them the idea that there's no way he's Spider-Man. And also, Venom was actually almost close to making sure Spider-Man doesn't exist anymore by taking a gene cleanser serum and force it down to Peter's throat so that way he doesn't have his powers anymore. But at the end of the day, Peter defeats Venom, and actually, he even puts the serum into Venom's mouth. Now, does the serum technically work on the symbiote? Technically, yes, but I don't think it works a second time if they ever bring Venom back. But, Peter gets his name cleared, so everyone doesn't believe that he's Spider-Man anymore, which is good. Let's see. We get the, a game war storyline here because one, we do get the mention of Silvermane, who's been put in prison for a long time actually, but now he is coming out. And actually, let me know in the comments, is Silvermane and Silver Sable, are they technically blood related, or was this a unique idea for this version of Spider-Man? Because we do see Silver Sable in this episode, and apparently her and Hammerhead had a thing for one another, which is disgusting. Also is in this episode where we see Spider-Man teams up with Rhino because they're trying to destroy specs that creates more Rhino armor suit thugs. And Rhino does not want the competition. This episode shows Shocker and with his teammates that the Enforcers, that's it. So we see the return of Ox and Fancy Dan, but now they're wearing suits that have powers. Ox gets like extra strength, while Fancy Dan gets a suit that makes him ricochet off of stuff. And actually, Captain Stacy now has even more suspicion that thinking that Peter and Spider-Man are the same person. Well, especially during the whole Return of the Venom symbiote storyline. And he even gives Peter some good cover stories where he's trying to explain where he's been, which is, I think that's nice. R.I.P. to Captain George Stacy here. This episode highlights the fall of Tombstone because also it hints at the return of the Green Goblin. So basically, these 4 episodes is the return of the Green Goblin saga because Spider-Man takes down Silvermane and Doc Ock and Tombstone at the exact same time, and this is actually on Valentine's Day. Yeah. Plus, also Peter and Liz's relationship is kind of on thin ice right now because Peter keeps thinking more about Gwen than Liz, which can't really blame him on here. But then again, we guys are complicated sometimes. So yeah, we do see Molten Man in this episode. And also Liz is Alan's brother, so basically he's a gambling addict. And it's just not going good for Liz, to be honest, and I feel sad for her, to be honest. Let's see. Opening night. This episode really goes head to head with Spider-Man's moral compass here a little bit. What do I mean by that? Okay. Remember how I said during the Symbiote Saga in Season 1's review that we see the return of the guy who killed Peter's Uncle Ben in this, well, specifically in this episode? Turns out Black Cat makes a return appearance. Actually, she makes a couple of episode appearances in Season 2 a little bit, like close to the end. But this is the last time we see her. Turns out she busts into the vault that Peter was testing for people how to escape or whatnot. Her dad is in here, who is the cat burglar who shot Uncle Ben. That's right, in this universe, Black Cat's father, Walter Hardy, only carried a gun for the first time because he was scared and getting old. He took Peter's Uncle Ben's life. And seeing that face again, Peter was definitely in a piss off mood. Like he would have killed him on the spot. And this is also the episode where Peter learns that Green Goblin is back. The final episode, the final battle between Spider-Man and Green Goblin. But let's be honest, there would have been more in the future. But basically, at the end of this episode, Peter breaks up with Liz because, well, he doesn't want to keep hurting her, which is understandable, but he also wants to be with Gwen. And she's trying to do that with Harry, but Harry being the manipulative prick that he is right now after losing his dad, quote unquote, because we all know Osborns are too stubborn to die. Well, at least Norman is. But, yeah, so at the end of it, Spider-Man defeats the Green Goblin and presumes he is dead, but we know at the end of the episode that he is still alive. Because at the end of the episode, you see him dye his hair completely blonde. Also, Dr. Connors and his wife and his son, they are leaving New York because Miles Warren, crafty son of a bitch, decides to manipulate the board members of ESU to say Dr. Connors is not fit to be in charge of that lab anymore, which I think is unfair, because he not only let himself be caught by Dr. Connors, but also threatened to go public about his lizard research, especially with him being the lizard, which is not cool. Kind of a dick move. But, yeah, so basically, Spectacular Spider-Man Season 2, both seasons are fucking, as the show is called, spectacular, and if I'm being honest, I still maybe want to have hope that this show can get revived. Like, we'll have to wait and see maybe after Friendly Neighborhood if it gets either more seasons after its official 2 come out. Because Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man has seasons 2 and 3. Well, season 2 comes out this year, and then season 3 comes out next year. But, if I had to rate this, I will give season 2 9.5 out of 10. Because, again, good storytelling, characters have good development here and there. And it's just like, it is sad that this show got cut early, and we can actually blame Disney on this one. Because they decided to not continue on with Spectacular Spider-Man. Like, yes, this is Sony, but you guys could have fucking paid them to continue this one. Like, you could have done your Spider-Man reboot high school thing, like, maybe after Spectacular, after it had its official ones of having the same amount of episodes as the 90s cartoon, if you think about it, and plus it's fucking movies. That's right. This series was going to be planned ahead to even have movies, actually, like, based on Peter having a college trilogy, and also with him going to Florida to help Dr. Connors. And college trilogy, that means we would eventually see Peter be married to Mary Jane. So Disney, How about stop being dumbasses along with Sony? How about you guys make a new deal that involves maybe making Spectacular Spider-Man after Friendly Neighborhood? Or not, Sony, why not you continue Spectacular Spider-Man on fucking Amazon Prime? And if anyone's going to ask, will I be doing a review on the Spider-Man Noir show when it comes out? You bet your goddamn ass I'm going to do it. Because to see Nicolas Cage play the live action version of Spider-Man Noir, how could I not do a review video on that? But let me know in the comments what you guys think of my review. If you like it or dislike it, but if you dislike it, please be not hurtful people on the internet, because let's be honest, no one likes a cyberbully. But if you agree with my opinions, up to you. Also, let me know what you rate this season too. But yep, so Spectacular Spider-Man's review is done. Now that we got TASM 1 and 2 to go forward, and then we have the MCU Spider-Man Home Trilogy, and then the Spider-Verse films. And of course, I will do a review on Beyond the Spider-Verse when that comes out next year. Anyway, have a nice day, guys.